The phone you have in your pocket or in your hand right now is capable of taking photos like these, and it's probably easier than you think. You don't need a particular camera, you don't even need a specific app. If you like taking photos with your smartphone and you like being out in nature, then you can do it, and in this video I'm going to show you how. So to start, I want to assure you that the phone you already own is almost certainly good enough to do this. Some smartphones do have cameras that are better than others, and I have a separate video that talks through that I'll link to below if you want to know. But at Skies and Scopes, we ran the Smartphone Astrophotographer of the Year competition. We got loads of really good photos, some of them taken with pretty old smartphones, old iPhones, old Google Pixels, old Samsung Galaxies, as well as many other models. It wasn't always the latest and greatest model of phone that got the best photo. So start with what you already own now. Don't put this off until you get your next upgraded phone, because whether you can shoot the Milky Way or not does depend quite a bit on the time of year, and you don't want to miss the opportunity because you think you've not got the right phone. And I'll talk more about the timing and planning in a second and how you can do that pretty easily. The only other thing you might benefit from other than your phone is a tripod. When you take these photos, your phone needs to stay very still and it needs to be on a tripod. It can't be held by hand. You can get by this just by propping your phone up against a tree or some other object. I've done that before, but it's pretty fiddly. It doesn't give you the capacity to get the right composition, and it's a bit fiddly pressing the buttons depending on how it's propped up. So a tripod, I fully recommend. It doesn't have to be anything fancy or expensive. It just needs to hold your phone for a few minutes. If you already own a tripod, any model, use that. You'll just need to add a smartphone clamp, which you can grab on Amazon or whatever. I'll link to a couple below. Or if you want to buy one that's dedicated for your smartphone, you can buy them as well. Pretty cheap, less than 20 bucks. All it needs to do is hold your phone and be able to angle so that you can point it how you want to take your photo. The biggest factor in whether you're going to be able to capture a photo of the actual Milky Way, like this one here, is timing and location, and it's knowing how to get those elements right. You cannot just go out and luck it and capture the Milky Way. But if you get the planning aspects right, as I said earlier, it's probably easier than you actually think, and you already own the right gear. I've talked before in other videos about the whole planning process with regards to the moon phase, light pollution, the weather, your location, the timing of the Milky Way. But I've also now created a free tool which basically does all this for you. So I'll link to it below, it's on my website. So to use it, you literally just enter your location where you are or where you're going to be when you're going to shoot, and then you select how far you're willing to travel. So that's from a short walk to a short drive to a much longer drive. So we can put in a location. So I'm going to say Boulder, Colorado. Just take Boulder, select that. I'm going to say I'm willing to do a short drive, then click plan my shoot. Boom, right. It tells me that tonight is excellent for the Milky Way if I travel. So the best window starts just before 10 o'clock. I have a good 5-hour window. It says from Boulder itself, I would get a score of 6.7 out of 10. So pretty good. I could probably get that photo, but if I'm willing to travel that 20-25 minute drive out to a spot with lower light pollution, I'll have a much better chance. It tells me the best upcoming nights. So right now it's saying the next 4 nights are the best nights for the next month. It's telling me if I wait beyond Sunday, then a day on Monday will be actually very poor. And then it gives me locations I can go to that will give me a better chance of capturing the Milky Way. So this is particularly in relation to light pollution. So you need to have dark skies. So it's going to suggest a few different locations. It links to a Google map. Obviously, you've got to take your own judgment on where you're willing to travel to, do a bit of research on how you get there and back. But from this, you can see some recommended locations, and you can probably work out somewhere either close to where it's recommending or in the same range of light pollution using the light pollution map, and you have a good option. You can always go back and change it and say, I'm going to go for a longer drive. Does that give me any better? Yeah, it goes up even higher. If you're in a town or city, it's almost certainly going to tell you where you are is going to be tricky. If you can travel further away from the lights of towns and cities, it's going to give you a much better chance. That's kind of how it works with night sky photography. You need to get those dark skies, and it's a mixture of timing and location. So check out the tool. It does a lot of the work for you, and it really sets you up for finding a good time and a good location pretty quickly. So then for the actual shooting, when you're out and your chosen night and your chosen location, you want to take advantage of the inbuilt night mode or astrophotography mode that's already within your phone. That's the simplest and easiest way to do it, and they're actually really good. They're often just a little bit hidden. I have a separate video that takes you through, whether it's an iPhone or whatever model of your phone, how to find it, but an iPhone has as standard a night mode, but if you have it under dark skies and on a tripod, it unlocks an extended night mode, which is what you want to be using. Similarly with the Google Pixel, Samsung Galaxy phones, if you put your phone under the right conditions, it detects it's under a dark sky, it's perfectly still on a tripod, and that will unlock a mode that automates a lot of the process of shooting, and it's really good. It will take long exposure photos and they will be of a certain length to maximize the amount of light it gathers, and then it will do what's called stacking, and it will create a single image which it will then process and give to you. So this is a standard kind of photo technique in night photography. You can't take too long a single exposure because the earth rotates, therefore the stars trail and blur and you don't get a nice crisp image. What you do instead is you take multiple long-ish exposures, say 10-20 seconds, and then you stack them on top of one another, and that's how you gather the light. So these modes do that all for you. You can obviously do it all manually if you want to, take the photos over and over, optimize the settings yourself, but genuinely these astrophotography modes and iPhone night modes are really good. A lot of the photos you're seeing in this video are using these. The one setting which I do advise you change yourself for the nighttime shooting session is to go into RAW shooting mode rather than JPEG. By default, your phone will capture photos as JPEGs, and that's exactly what you want for when you're shooting normal photos in the daytime. It basically compresses it down to a smaller file and does a bit of processing for you, so it looks good for 99.9% of the time. That's what you want. With night sky photography, what we want is to retain as much data as possible, so we don't want our phone to automatically process it into a JPEG. So what we want, we put it in RAW, and then we get as much data captured as possible. Conversely, it won't look as good on your phone when you first look at it as it would a JPEG, but all that data is there to take us on to the next step, which is when we do a bit of editing or processing. Now, if you're not really used to this, it might seem a bit intimidating, but there are good free apps. You can do it all on your phone. So Lightroom Mobile is what I recommend most. It has a paid tier, but the free elements of it are more than good enough. There's also a Snapseed, which is a completely free app. You can make a huge difference pulling your photo into Lightroom Mobile, adjusting contrast, exposure, things like this, and you'll get something much better than the default JPEG you would get if you just used your phone by default. That's the process. Even if you've never shot the night sky before or had any success with doing this, it's about getting those few elements right. It's about using the planning tool to make sure you're going out on the right night, not wasting your time. It's about finding a good location to shoot from. And this is perfect to try, particularly in the summer months. Those are the peak Milky Way times. And also often for many of us that will coincide with perhaps going away from the towns or cities that we live in and maybe going on holiday or vacation, and then you may have greater access to night skies, particularly if you're out camping or hiking or something like that. Great opportunity. You'll get really dark skies. You've got a really good chance. Just check out the timing. The planner tool's linked below. If you want to know more about how to unlock those astrophotography or night photography modes on your phone, check out this video here where I go through for each model of phone. Cheers.